Well, the immigration crisis front and center on Capitol Hill today. In a House Oversight Committee hearing on the Trump administration's child separation policy, things got tense and then boiled over.
Do you not care? Is it because these children don't look like children that are around you? I don't get it. Have you ever held a deceased child in your arms?
First of all, your comments are disgusting. I've served my country for 34 years, and yes, I held a 5-year-old boy in my arms in back of that tractor trailer. I knelt down beside him and said a prayer for him. What I've been trying to do my 34 years serving my nation is to save lives. So for you to sit there and insult my integrity and my love for my country and for children, that's why this whole thing needs to be fixed.
Well, joining us now to offer her perspective, Fresno County Sheriff Margaret Mims. Sheriff, welcome back to the show. Good to have you tonight.
Thanks for having me, Shannon.
I don't know how much of that you got to watch today. It got very emotional on both sides. I'm interested in your reaction because the former ICE director, Tom Homan, who's been on the show a number of times and on Fox multiple times, he talked about the fact that it's Congress. He didn't say Democrats. He didn't say Republicans. He's like, you guys have got to get your act together because there are people dying. And he's asking them, why aren't you getting it done? I mean, how difficult does it make it for you to do your job, this current situation?
Well, I have to agree with Mr. Homan. You know, ICE is doing and committing to the mission that and complying with laws that Congress have established. That is their job, to enforce immigration issues. Now, I understand the administration is prioritizing their actions, which means they are going to be targeting those who have received due process. They've been through the court system, but they've ignored the rule of law, and those who have committed local crimes. Now, let's be clear. People who receive due process and have been ordered removed should be removed, and relatively quickly, as well as those who have committed local crimes. So it's appropriate that the administration is prioritizing their action, and they're just enforcing the laws that Congress have created.
Yeah, and you talk about this idea of people who have already, missed court hearings or have a deportation order or crime or something like that. The ACLU filed a lawsuit ahead of these raids saying, listen, a lot of these people had been convicted in absentia, meaning they didn't come to the court hearings. They say in a lot of these cases, things were sent to the wrong address. People had moved. They couldn't track them down. They found out too late about the hearing. I mean, they're turning that back on the government, saying, well, the reason we didn't come to the court hearings is because we didn't know about them or we didn't have enough time to get there. What do you make of that argument?
Well, the onus is on the person that has been cited to appear in court. If they change an address, it's their responsibility to make sure that they can be contacted when there are notices that are being sent out.
Okay, so what do your response to a number of the places you heard from the LA mayor, the police chief there, a number of other big jurisdictions in big cities who say, we're not going to cooperate with this at all. Not only that, but we're actually going to tell you how to evade ICE if they do show up at your property. As a law enforcement officer, your reaction?
Well, what they're not saying is California legislature passed SB 54, a Senate bill that prohibits local law enforcement from working with ICE for immigration issues. So it's unlawful for them to do that because of the sanctuary state law. And they're leaving that part out. And the legislators put us in an untenable position where now we're caught in the middle because of the Ninth Circuit decision that was mentioned earlier. Mm-hmm. Now we can't even compete for federal funding to help us with community-oriented policing because of our state sanctuary law. Mm-hmm. And it's unfortunate because that does not help us keep our community safe.
All right, Sheriff Mims, always great to have you on for your perspective. Thank you so much.
Thank you.